Hello everyone, welcome once again to Investing with the Difference. So, as we have been doing a lot of activity with developers here under the Blockstart Initiative, we have learned quite a few things. I want to share a few things, and one of the most important thing which happened in last couple of days, that is SEC has become more and more vocal in US, talking about how they want to help crypto companies, especially the legitimate projects. So I'm going to cover a recent speech from SEC Commissioner and what are the positives coming out of it. So let's jump into it. First of all, of course, I would like to show that we had some great workshop here in Silicon Valley with a huge attendance from we were partnering with Google Developer Group, Blockchain University as this Blockstart initiative. I would highly recommend people to join us. We are what we're realizing is that while we got so many developers to come, including a lot of women, a lot of girls, I think it was very exciting. And I think one big part was that we have Cybercode twins from SheEOS, and they were our running one part of the workshop about smart contracts. We had a lot of great talks, and I think we are trying to bring the balance like with the real developers, like who are not into crypto, who are not there for money or to just create a token. They are there to learn the technology. So it was a great learning, great feedback from them on who are new to blockchain, and we will share more and more of those. But in the process, do follow us on Blockstart on Twitter, and do join us on. I think we have launched our website that is blockstart.one, and that is going to be a platform for developers to connect with the mentors, with the investors, and we will help build more and more real world applications. And I think mainly physically we are going to be focusing on Silicon Valley, but we are also looking for how we can bring more and more developers across the world using the virtual platform. And that is another initiative we are going to start within this Blockstart.one. So do join us if you are interested in growing together in this EOS world. Now, coming back to the market and what is really happening. So, market had a jump recently over the weekend, and it's kind of stabilizing there. While these kind of jumps have not sustained, but I think what we need to look at is what's happening. I talked about Litecoin in my previous video, that it is outperforming and it continues to do so. What additional thing we are seeing is that you can see, I just love this coin market cap, these very small charts they have, and you can see kind of patterns of various charts. Everything jumped at the same time, which you all see. But what you need to also see is that usually after this big jump, when everything moves together, not everything stays the same. So if you look at this, we saw Tron jumping with everything else, but it's kind of underperforming by a big amount and it has lost all the gains. While you see Bitcoin kind of stable, you see Ethereum actually gaining little more. And similarly, EOS and Litecoin, they are very, very strong right now, while we are seeing that Bitcoin Cash is losing ground, Tron. But this gives you a picture of which coin is really gaining strength even beyond the general market direction. And look at this Binance coin, it is like a very consistent up move. So these are the things you should always you can look at in terms of what is the relative strength. Now, what else came up? I think while people are putting theories around why this jump happened and what is going on, I would say the biggest news which happened was the SEC Commissioner Pierce. She had given a speech on February 8th, and it was published recently online on SEC site. And it is very, very encouraging speech for regulations in US. She has given a very clear direction. As you know, that SEC has multiple commissioners, and of course there have been different views from different commissioners. But I think what is very important to note here is a few sentences about how they are saying that a utility token, which is for a running network, even if you are raising money, if you are not selling it as an investment vehicle, if you are selling it for utility token or for a platform, that is not a security. That kind of a very strong statement coming out from SEC commissioner. In addition, she talks about how they are going to treat exchanges differently, the crypto exchanges from the usual stock exchanges, because they are not the same. So they're quite a very, very soft view on the crypto, on blockchain industry, and a very nice speech for the industry. I would post a link on this video, but I would recommend everybody to read this article. And this is, I think, the biggest positive which is coming out in last couple of days in terms of what we are going to see soon from US regulatory bodies, and this can really change, like bring in a lot more investors who will get comfortable, the VCs who are a little bit struggling with anybody who is issuing tokens, because they were not clear how many of these tokens will be qualified as securities. And now I think, except for of course the frauds, or like people saying, oh, buy this token and it will go to the moon, I think those are definitely something which should be regulated. They are selling a dream. They are not really creating value. So I would say it's good to have regulations for saving people from scams. A lot of bad stuff happened in 2017, and that is what led to this bear market in 2018. And we need to understand that this is going to be good for overall system, while the real projects, the good blockchain projects, will be able to raise money without worrying about SEC or other issues. So this is huge, I think.